All right, and hello. Welcome. Got ourselves some MDL Macau. Starting with the second stream, which was supposed to be IG versus Liquid, but now is Vici versus Virtus.pro. I think they're giving some time off for eHome. I'm not exactly sure of their situation because I'm not over there. But it looks like they're maybe trying to find a stand-in, so maybe they're flying someone out. I literally have zero idea what they're doing, but we're here and starting with a really good best-of-1 with Vici and Virtus.pro. Obviously, Vici without Fade coming into this, and they've picked up DDC to play in the 5 and have moved DY to the 4, which it gives me some thoughts about Team Root, that maybe they're stepping in a different direction because DDC plays the 5 for them. Obviously, I don't think this is going to be a move that exactly sticks. I don't think DDC is going to take over for Fade, especially after what they saw happened in the most recent minor qualifier. But it's a good first game to start on. I'm joined here by Gods, and it should be interesting.
Hey, people, man. Yeah, it should be a fun little tournament. A few stand-ins here and there. With DDC standing in, but EG playing without Sumail. Ehon has all kinds of issues with a player who couldn't get into Macau or something, and then Fabian has fractured his arm or something. I don't know. Ehon's, they've got some problems they're figuring out, but hopefully they're still going to show up and play some good Dota.
Yeah, I apparently that was during like a media day or something like that that he dislocated or fractured his shoulder or something like that, which I don't know how that's really going to affect him coming into even the major from that point. That seems like it's definitely maybe even detrimental to their participation there, so...
Yeah. Can you hear me okay, by the way? You're a bit robotic for me. I don't know if I need to like rejoin the call or something.
Yeah, you're robotic. Yeah. Hold on. I'm going to restart it really quick.
Let's see if that helps.
Virtus.pro's turn to ban.
Any changes?
All right. How are we sounding now?
You sound perfect now. I don't know if I sound robotic.
No, you're good now. We must have just had a bad connection or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But start of the day, it's start of the day always has a few little quirks to figure out.
They had a headset issue over there at the arena, so I mean, we had communication, so it works out. Everything always, it's those first day LAN jitters.
Well, we got a new patch. That's kind of exciting. Yeah, 0.721, and we'll see how these teams are adapting to play around some of the new changes and things.
Yeah, Sven's still getting picked up. I've been seeing a lot of Chen. Chen seems to be in every single game.
But... yeah, his new spell, I can't even remember what it's called right now, but the new bloodlust, essentially, the boost in heal and damage is pretty crazy. Especially when you put on siege creeps and things, and in the laning stage, it's just so incredibly strong.
You think he's gonna stay that way, or is it just specific teams that play Chen that are gonna continue to just pick him up, or is it like now you need someone who can play this hero?
I think every team needs to. I mean, I compare this hero to like the old Ogre Magi, where he's you just bloodlust your carry and they're suddenly 10 times stronger. It's the same with like Magnus with Empower. That to me is what Chen is a bit now, where he's just got this steroid spell that some carries and some playstyles like around the siege creeps benefit from so much. So he's easier to play than he used to be since he's much more about that steroid spell. So I think we'll be seeing pretty much every team trying to adapt to playing Chen, even if they don't have like some amazing micro god Chen player on their team.
And then it's paired up with the Sven, which I've been seeing a lot, at least in the Chinese region, in the off lane. Is it still sitting there in the off lane, or are we going to see it moved here for Virtus.pro? I
think Sven is kind of a flex pick. It's been run a lot in the 5 position role as well in the past by Solo. So it could be a 5 with Roger playing Chen. It could be a 3 position, like you mentioned, where you just get all the aura items, the Vlads, the drums, Blink Dagger, whatever for your team. So it's kind of nice to pick up this Sven early on because it is that flex pick.
Yeah, and then they go to the Troll. So 2 pretty big hard hitters. The Troll and the Sven coming into it. Magnus was that first ban, but I don't think either of these heroes really depend on a Magnus to really develop. I think the Troll's going to go for the Battle Fury. You'll see Sven, obviously, he's got that built-in cleave. And now Vici going to the Doom. So Doom, Tiny, Grimstroke, and Doom's been played in the offlane quite a bit as well.
Yeah, Doom, Grimstroke, great combo. You know, being able to Doom 2 people in a fight is pretty damn strong. And I think when Grimstroke was first added, it was one of those combos that everyone was like, oh my god, this is going to be amazing. It took a little while, I think, for Doom to make his way into the meta, but now that he's here and being used as one of these strong offlaners typically, I think a few teams have run him as a 4 position, but he's got great synergy with Grimstroke for the obvious reason.
One of the things that kind of concerns me, though, about the Doom Grimstroke is, like, I almost feel like it is very reliant on getting that combination off, and if you don't get that combination off, it almost feels like you're not doing anything. And I mean, yes and no. I think Doom's gotten strong enough where you can pick Doom without Grimstroke, and goes both ways, where you can play Grimstroke without Doom, so they're both strong, viable heroes regardless. Grimstroke did get some nerfs in the recent patch, like particularly the slow reduction with his level 3 ultimate. It's a pretty big hit to the hero, I think, going from 45 to 30% slow. This BKB spell immune piercing slow was pretty insane. So we'll see how Grimstroke plays out now. Although Vici Gaming still seeing the hero as a first pick hero. Yeah, Grimstroke is definitely up there. There's so many combinations with it that I think with heroes that are involved in the meta that Grimstroke is either first ban, first pick material still. Maybe it's kind of fallen off a little bit, but I definitely like the hero overall, especially when you get somebody who maybe you're going to Inkswell, and I see Tiny and I see Doom, and I'm seeing 2 heroes that have the potential to get the Inkswell, blink in, and have Inkswell on top of them and make that move and use Inkswell, then say the Inferno Blade or Avalanche Toss. Like, it does provide, I think, a lot of mobile control for this lineup.
So VP reveal a bit more about what they're doing with this Tusk pickup. So that puts Sven into a core role. So we'll see the Tusk for Roger, the Chen probably in Solo's hands. I like Chen more in the 5 position role just because he is just that, let's buff up my cores kind of hero now. He doesn't really use a whole lot of farm. So Sven probably in the 3 position, Pasha picking him up. You mentioned like the Chen Sven lane. We could see Tusk with the Troll. The supports can be kind of flexible here, so I like the idea behind VP's pick so far. Very, very kind of standard stuff that we're seeing on this patch for sure.
Does it worry you that Tusk, Troll, and Sven have to kind of get in close against this Vici lineup, or should they be okay against what they've picked up so far?
So far it's fine. Until the Pugna. I think Pugna is a good response because that's a hero that can, use that range advantage, get the Aether Lens, use Decrep to help teammates out. So, Sven's going to be stunning someone. Tusk is going to try and block him in with an Ice Shard, Snowball in the Troll. As you say, get in close and just try and beat them down. And that's where the Decrep defensively can be very powerful. So the Pugna pick makes a lot of sense here. Decrep is very valuable, makes up for some holes in their draft where they didn't really have any way to pressure buildings and push. Their first 3 heroes were, all solid picks in their own right, but didn't give them any way to pressure buildings. So I think Vici Gaming have the right idea with this Pugna pick. As for VP, I think they're fine. They still have this 10th pick of the draft where they're going to get no one's hero, and I imagine it's going to be something that can, not get kited as badly as like the Troll and the rest of the team do because of the melee factor.
So what do you think Vici have to ban that's going to be most detrimental against this Pugna?
Let's see. Some of those heroes against Pugna. I mean, there's still a lot of mids available. I was gonna one of the heroes I thought would be really good for VP before the Pugna pick was the OD. I think he makes up for a lot of the gaps in their draft, but it's not amazing against Pugna. It's still playable, so it's something they might consider. Otherwise, looking at with some of the changes, like heroes theoretically like Storm Spirit are a lot stronger than they used to be. There's that's a hero that's not going to get kited at all. It could theoretically be a very good Visage game. The Birds and the Grave Chill can be very potent here, I feel. So it kind of comes down to, I think, what no one wants to play a bit. They could even send Troll mid, so it's very flexible, their draft with the last pick.
Yeah, especially I feel like when you have that 10th pick, it's such a huge advantage these days. I mean, I feel it always has been, but I think the last year or so, last picks have just been like that ultimate game winner. And with the Queen of Pain pickup, kind of switches everything up in my eyes.
Yeah, presumably a Quap mid, so we may see some kind of like a Puck or Maybe an SF could be okay. Some of these heroes that just, aren't going to get kited too badly can give you some control for the Queen of Pain. The VP lockdown is okay right now with the Sven stun, the Tusk as well, but Quap is pretty elusive, so they may want something a bit more, which is why Kunkka's banned. Kunkka is such good catch here. And yeah, they go Puck. Puck versus Quap. This is like one of those classic mid 1v1 matchups. It hasn't been seen that much over the last 2 years or so, but you go back, it was probably like one of the most played 1v1 mid matchups in professional Dota for a long, long time.
Yeah, it gives them a little bit of extra mobility. I think Sven's going to be grabbing a blink here anyway. They've got Snowball to kind of initiate as well. But Puck with the Illusory Orb, with the lockdown that's going to be brought with the Dream Coil, I kind of like it. Whereas it looks like Vici are more, obviously they have the blink built in on Quap, but they're kind of heavily reliant for their lockdown and initiation from the Doom and Tiny maybe picking up blinks here. So,
well, yeah, we'll see how fast DY can get that on his Tiny. It's always hard when you're playing that 4 position if you don't get, like, if you set up a lot of kills early on for your mid with some, like, toss under the tower, or it doesn't have to be the mid, for any lanes, you can get snowballing as a Tiny and have a really good game, but there's sometimes those games where your lanes just don't go that well, and suddenly you're reliant on your 4 position hero getting a blink dagger, and when you're playing from behind, that's a very bad situation to be in, because that's not a hero you want to be giving, or a role that you want to be giving a lot of farm when you're struggling in the early game.
I'm also interested to see how the chemistry is going to be between this team for Vici. Obviously, with DDC in instead of Fade, him playing in the DDC playing in the 5, DY now in the 4. In the minor qualifier, when they brought Fade back after the aggressive one-day trial or experiment they were doing, they looked really clean on that second day. So, Yang was definitely the star in that. So I'm interested to see how this is all going to go down in terms of chemistry, and obviously Virtus.pro. They're one of the best teams in terms of putting it all together as a team, and when you've got to stand in, I feel like that little factor might be a little bit daunting.
Yeah, that's, to me, always the crazy, scary thing about playing Virtus.pro. They can go into a tournament on a new patch, and maybe, let's say, they haven't scrimmed that much, or they haven't practiced, or, they're just in a bit of a mindset where it's like, we're just going to this tournament to just, use as like a warm-up event for what, the major or the minor that's coming up. But their team synergy and just the fact that they play so well together is always so incredibly difficult to beat. So it doesn't really matter if VP's in, their 10 out of 10 form and have all their strats practiced, because they just find ways to win based on, their cohesion.
Yeah, it's been this way for a long time. Sometimes you kind of see teams that, it looks like they've put it together. They put it together for so long, and then it just kind of falls apart for some reason. But Virtus.pro has been one of those teams that have been consistent in keeping that chemistry and putting it together. And I think that might be one of the scariest things about Virtus.pro. Obviously there's so much talent on this team, but, sometimes talent isn't enough, and they put the talent and put it all together, like every piece of it. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, there are some of these tournaments where VP, you can tell, show up and don't have the right idea with their drafts, and maybe lose or don't quite get the results they're hoping for, but it never really feels like, they're individually getting outplayed. Players like No One and Ramses are just some of the best in their role in the game. Roger on the 4 position, as well as Solo. I think Solo is probably the most just skilled 5-position player out there, at least in the top 3 or so. He's easily talented enough to, be on a team regardless of his captaining abilities. So very, very tough team to play, but Vici Gaming, they've kind of a talented lineup of their own. Paparazzi looking like one of those superstars in China all the time.
And they go in on a Pasha for a moment. The Inkswell as well as the toss all the way back into the hands of Paparazzi. DDC moving forward. Pasha quick enough, but still chasing is Vici, and he'll get into the trees. We'll see if they continue to go in on this. They've got the toss once again, and first blood there for Vici. So right away we see the first blood. It was 3 heroes down here for the side of Vici, as was the same for Virtus.pro, but Vici come out the victors in terms of the bounty rune and first blood.
And that was a really cool play. Tiny having these boots first means he could just keep on chasing down for the kill. DY's trying to career snipe, but it's planted at the tier 2 tower, so he's not going to get his hands on that one. But, very nice early play. Paparazzi playing a 1-position Queen of Pain, and Shadow Strike level 1 is causing Pasha all kinds of problems right now.
Especially that with one of the things I was kind of talking about, having that blink in with the Inkswell. you have that opportunity if he's got that dagger to throw, and you get Inkswell right on top of the Sven. It's going to be a tough lane here for Pasha. He's already had to use that salve.
Yeah, he's going to get zoned pretty hard. When you're playing this 1v2 matchup against a hero like a Quap, it's a tough lane. He's throwing out Stormbolts just to try and get some CS right now.
There's the Inkswell once again. Pasha just stunned up. Not enough mana for his stun just yet, but he's got a Mango. He's just pulling the creep wave for now, making a little bit of, I don't know if this is really space, if it's just a solo lane for himself. But
Back
just getting
top,
over the
though,
Quap.
it's much like VP's having struggles in their off lane. Wow, ensnare under the tower solo. He got tossed into the tower, went for a TP out, but Doom had an ensnare creep. So Yang, after getting tipped like 10 times already this game, finally gets some revenge.
That's got to be a statistic I should be able to pull up, is how many times have I gotten tipped, and is this going to be my motivating factor? And then again, Pasha over bottom. They got the kill in the offlane for the side of Vici. They look for the Inkswell, but has enough mana for that Stormhammer and is able to walk away from DDC. And now with the haste, he's certainly away.
It was going to be fine regardless, but pretty convenient to get a haste room when you're running back to Fountain anyway, so that'll just be, you know, a bit of added efficiency for him. And we'll see, yeah, both offlaners struggling a bit. The nice thing for Doom when he's struggling is he can always just go grab some neutrals with the Devour. It's a pretty efficient way to get golden experience. Tusk was also, Tiny was also grabbing some waves to pull behind the tower, so I think Vici Gaming's doing a little bit better when it comes to the offlane. Pasha is still just level 1 on Sven.
One of the biggest pros I definitely think of for Vici is their laning phase. They're very consistent in the laning. A lot of the games that I see that they lose break down towards the later part of the game, but it always seems like they put it together in the laning phase, so I'm not really surprised with their, even with a Queen of Pain in the safe lane, how well they're doing at the moment.
Back at bottom, they are maybe looking for a kill here. DY's Tiny, still just level 1 as a 4 position, but he is roaming with these Treadmill boots.
Yeah, the stun comes out on a DDC, but Inkswell on top of DY. They look for Pasha. They'll toss him up into the Inkswell, and DY's got the kill. This is a very late rotation from Solo. Maybe not one he wanted to make, as they go continuing with DY and DDC. The Queen of Pain, Paparazzi hidden behind. The toss of a creep on a Solo. They won't be able to get the kill. Roger comes over, and now you've got multiple heroes rotating the bottom lane, and if you're Vici, you're quite happy with that, but over mid, Ori trying to get away, the illusory orb over the top, now into the trees, the TP comes over, no one's searching, hunting for Ori, but DY comes over again. He actually doesn't have level 2, so he won't have Avalanche available to him. He's silenced for a moment, toss in about 18 mana, the illusory orb once again, doesn't jaunt over to it, but it does keep Ori alive.
Oh, that's one of those, you know, confident plays from no one, but he doesn't get the kill, and DY, he's got mana, he gets bottled.
Got the toss,
but get the kill on no one here.
Illusory orb once again. Even level 4, it's very hard to just kill this puck.
Yeah. I mean, no one is crushing this mid lane. 18-5 to the 9-5 CS of the Pugna. That dive, though, under the tower going for the kill sets him back a little bit. It forces him to go back to base when otherwise he would have he could have stayed in that lane. But by diving underneath the tower, he lost all his mana, most of his health, so he does get forced out of lane. But still, he's crushing it. He's having a great time. Same thing for Ramses. The two VP core players really off to a good start.
They've actually pushed Pasha to where he's jungling now. I mean, this opens up Paparazzi to just a free lane to farm.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard for anyone to lane against a Queen of Pain. It's similar to the Troll, where once you get this good safe lane start and you get given most of the solo experience, Troll level 5, Queen of Pain level 4.5, it's incredibly difficult for anybody to go down there. If you want to go lane in those off lanes, you need to send 2 or 3 heroes.
Nice shards coming out from Roger. Yang, he tries to avoid the slow coming in from Ramses, but it doesn't even matter at that point. He moves back, goes towards the stairs, and then Roger just throws the shards, keeps him close enough, and will allow Ramses to get the kill.
Yeah, just, you know, sometimes at this point, if you're a Doom who's had a slow start, you're willing to try throw away your life to get a bounty rune. So, not the end of the world that he dies there. Yang, you know, making a calculated risk to get these bounty runes.
Avalanche and the Inkswell. The toss comes out. Pasha, one more hit, and DDC, with the help of DY, they're able to get the kill on Pasha. They find him out. They've got this ward here, and they go through the jungle and get another kill onto the Sven. So he's safe literally nowhere.
Yeah, and this is, to me, the downside of this 3-position Sven when he's playing alone. It reminds me a lot of, like, Night Stalker in the 3-position role. If he's playing alone versus a dual lane or tri lane, you get crushed, you feel very ineffective right now. Whereas a hero like Doom can go back to the jungle, he's been Devourer and creeps, 2 points in Devour even. He's just playing this catch-up economy game that the Sven can't match.
Ooh, actually, they have Roger going in on Yang once again. Solo here with no one. The illusory orb comes over the top, and...
Oh, back at bottom though, they're looking for Sven.
They look for the Sven. They've got the Inkswell as well as the toss coming in. The stun's going to hit onto the Queen of Pain, but again, DDC gets the kill back over mid. They're looking for Ori. 3 heroes here. I believe they dropped Dream Coil for that, and they didn't end up getting the kill onto this Pugno. So Ori able to escape, but they get the kill again over bottom.
Yeah, Pugno's still struggling a bit in the CS department. Ori is getting outplayed a bit by no one, but the other lanes... Well, the bottom lane looking good for Vici Gaming, and while Doom is not having a good time, he's died 3 times, he's getting a little bit more out of the lane than the Sven still. Sven, 0-4, Doom, the 3 deaths, but 16 CS to the 9 CS, so it is a slight advantage for Vici Gaming when it comes to the offlaners and their performance.
So, when he gets Doom, and before Soulbind, where you're not getting those double Dooms out, who's the most important target for you to focus here on Vici when you're starting to go with that Doom?
I mean, absolutely the Puck. Puck is the highest value target to Doom, but he's also one of the more difficult targets to Doom because of how elusive he is. No one is going to be phase shifting and blinking around anytime he sees a Doom near him. So it's, you know, without like a Shadow Blade, and even Blink Dagger doesn't really help you Doom a Puck. So if you blink on top of him, he's going to be able to phase shift before you go through your cast animation for a Doom. So it's a very tricky Doom target. Otherwise, you're looking at just a Tusk or a Sven. I mean, Tusk is not a bad Doom target by any means.
So we'll see once Yang, when he does hit level 6, who he'll be able to Doom. But again, right under in between the tier 1 and the tier 2, Ramses and Roger move over. That tag team doing so much here for Ramses, and they're able to get an easy kill onto the Doom. Dream Coil gets used over mid on a DY. This will lock him up for a moment, and I believe snaps the Dream Coil and then gets hit with the Illusory Orb, then dies. So they silence up the Puck. They look for at least a trade. They've got the Life Drain on top of him, so close to dying. Roger's nearby, and they're unable to get the kill here onto the Puck.
Yeah, he ever so slightly mistimed the break. Otherwise, he may have actually been able to live there. He had an Avalanche coming up. The break damage on Puck's Coil is so high right now that you definitely need to be avoiding breaking the coil whenever possible, unless it's absolutely necessary.
It seemed like a little bit of a miscalculation there from DY.
Yeah, I mean, every pro player is always trying to get like the exact perfect, like I'm going to move out of the range the second it's expiring, and sometimes you just slightly miscalculate, and he may be dead anyways. Puck had 4 points in Illusionary Orb, so that orb was going to get him down to like 50 to 100 health, and 1 or 2 right clicks may have finished him off.
Got the Nether Ward down. Ori looking to at least siege a little bit onto the tier 1 tower. He's got DY.
A lot of heroes coming mid though. Paparazzi's Quops here, level 7 with Sonic Wave, and several VP heroes also looking to flank.
We'll see if they're able to get no one. They've got the Sonic Wave ready. If they're able to get a silence on no one, he might find himself in a little bit of trouble. DY shows himself under the tower, throws the tree, looking and searching for this Puck. The Illusory Orb thrown once again, so that's going to give up where he is. But at the same time, he's just trying to maybe deter them from getting this tier 1 tower as quickly. But meanwhile, over top again, Yang. Fool me 4 times. I'm still going to try and come here and find a little bit of farm. He's not dead just yet, and actually, it's Pasha instead of Ramses, so that's the difference maker in him being able to survive this time.
Yeah, he's like, sweet, this Sven, level 4, I can lane against him. That's not a Troll Warlord. I'll fancy my chances against him, and Doom now does hit level 6, so about a level and a half ahead of the Sven. Yang just happy to be in a lane that doesn't involve Ramses on his Troll.
They actually look for Pasha. The Warcry comes out, the Inkswell, Yang chasing him down. Now, Pasha may not be able to kill Yang, but Yang comes in and Paparazzi tossed over. They'll be able to kill Pasha, so they come in, they get themselves 6 onto the Doom, and another kill in this top lane, and another kill onto this Sven.
Yeah, Vici Gaming is doing a good job pushing the tempo. They take the mid tier 1 tower, they rotate Quap mid, take that tier 1 tower, and now they're top. They're going to get their 3rd tower around 10 minutes into the game. VP are making a good job responding. Ramses, he's like, I can't fight. I haven't got my items yet to fight into this like 4-man push. he's pushing the other side of the map, and very cleverly, Solo's given him this Alpha Wolf. So he's got all this bonus damage coming in from an Alpha Wolf for his push down bottom. So VP, despite the fact Vici Gaming, I think, is playing really well, pushing at a fast tempo here, they're responding in the best way possible, making all the right moves to trade towers.
6 to 5, not you know, over 1,000 net worth lead for either side. Pretty close. The towers start to come down for Virtus.pro, and they're still really waiting on Pasha to kind of come online, maybe just even have that 6. But I mean, Vici, they've got Doom ready, and Soulbind, it's closing in as well.
Yeah, I think for VP, they're just going to be playing this pretty slow. It's not even like this Troll's going to come online anytime soon. He's the most farmed here in the game. He's level 10, and he's absurdly farmed, but he's going Battle Fury. So even when he gets this Battle Fury, he's not going to magically be ready to come to these 5v5 team fights. He's going to need another item on top of it.
Very much dead. Ramses gets an easy kill there. Not much you can do when they find the right positioning, but Paparazzi comes in. They're going to find this Tusk, the snowball over to the neutral camp. But with the life drain, Roger trying to find an escape, and will get the shards to the low ground, but it's not looking like it's going to matter. DY ends up getting the kill on Roger. So Vici at least trade.
Yeah, cute little shards play, but the important thing is Ramsey survives. He TP'd out in the fog, so even though Doom TP'd in, he couldn't actually get Vision to cancel that. And that means, you know, if Ramses dies there, it's a great win for Vici Gaming. Just getting the Tusk, you're very happy for VP.
And right off that, Vici, they smoke up. They've still got this Doom available. They're looking to make a play. It'll be Yang going into the Midas to try and recover, especially with that Devour as well. And Pasha, again, in the sights of Vici, which is unfortunate. The Infernal Blade comes out. The Avalanche on top of that. It doesn't look like they're even going to have to use the Doom. They'll get the kill on Pasha. Meanwhile, DDC, he gets caught, and he'll fall as well.
You know, that's a Sven pushing very far up the top lane with no tower for any teammates to TP onto. Not to say it's a huge mistake or anything. He's kind of creating space. Like, he's, you know, getting what farm he can, trying to just build towards these cheap, cost-effective items. And he knows he's farming in the dangerous places so that the Troll can get the free farm. Troll is farming Ancients, while Sven farms somewhere that's a lot riskier to be. Because as long as it's not the Troll dying, you don't mind losing a kill or two to Vici Gaming. You just need your Troll to be free farming up towards the battlefield.
Is there a point where, like, Vici, they're kind of okay getting these pickoffs, but, I mean, Ramses, like you're saying, he's still building up and not being bothered quite. And over.
It's gonna. I mean, his BKB is where he gets. The game is almost lost. I don't. Nope, DY's gonna get another kill. Like, I mean, again, it's these kills that just don't matter. You don't go straight into the BKB after Battlefield. You need at least a Yasha first. So we'll see either a Yasha into BKB or even the full SMY into BKB, depending on how pressured Ramses feels this game. If they feel like, you know, we're going to lose Roshan, lose all our towers, we need a fight, you rush that BKB after your Yasha. If things are going fine and you're trading, you just get your full SMY. Then get your BKB, you know, 3 minutes later or whatever it is. Ramses does need to be careful, though.
Yeah, they'll find Roger. They've got the Avalanche as well as the toss onto the Tusk. We'll try and make some space. That should be able to get Ramses out. Ori comes over. And Snowball staying alive as long as he can, just making a little bit of space. The toss comes out again, another blast, and then Ori will get the kill on a Roger. But again, he brings him on a little bit of a run where Ramses gets out.
It's the exact same thing. It's kind of crazy where Ramses, wherever he's farming, if he's farming somewhere dangerous, he has bodyguards. And those bodyguards, you know, they're throwing away their lives to protect it. These guys are like Secret Service protecting the president. You know, they're jumping in front of these bullets, and while that's going on, yeah, Ramses, the second he sees those two heroes find the Tusk is the guy who scouts the gank. He just instantly goes into trees and TPs out, lets his Tusk die, doesn't even think about fighting. He knows there's no way he can fight him.
And now Ramses
fight over these battle rooms, though. Yeah, I think Ramses does not want to be leading the way. He wants to go in last.
And here comes Pasha, finally making a move. He's got the God Strength as well as the Stormhammer, and then Ramses has been tossed in between the entire side of Vici. They look over at Yang as the silence is out on both the Queen of Pain as well as the Doom. They'll get themselves 2 kills, and it looks like this is really falling apart for the side of Vici. They've already lost 3. They'll look over at DY. Ramses as well as Pasha moving over to try and get this kill. They've got themselves the stun, and 4 heroes down on the side of Vici, where they finally put it together as 5 on the side of Virtus.pro, and they get all 4 kills, losing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, they demolished them there. They were so ready for that fight. the troll, Ramses, his positioning was so good. He didn't go into the fight until the puck had gone in first. He lets the puck get the coil off, the waiting rift, and they make sure they burst the Doom. If Doom gets his ultimate off on top of that, the Grimstroke Soulbind, that fight can go terribly wrong for VP, but by bursting the Doom, Yang's taken out of the fight. It allows the Troll to go in, and Troll with this Divine Favor on Chen has all this bonus damage to just clean up.
They try to go in. They've got the Sonic Wave to come through. They've also got the Toss. They might be able to finally find Ramses. They'll get themselves at least one. Roger now on the run. Yang coming over to maybe just lay down an Infernal Blade. The Decrepify.
He thought about the Doom there. Felt better.
Avalanche comes out, but nothing.
He's getting teleported out.
See you later again. Yeah, it's Secret Service this time gets out. They don't get the President out this time, but they find someone to at least escape. As Ramses was the one who fell.
And that's what I think Vici Gaming's, like, if you want to, like, fault them for something, it's those times where they TP'd to try and gank Ramses, is that they run into a Tusk and then distract themselves. They should just, when they go for these kills on Ramses, they need to ignore the hero that they run into and just run straight at Ramses. He's the #1 priority. You've got to just ignore the Tusk, ignore the Chen, whoever it is, and really hunt down the Trolls. This Troll is the guy that's going to carry this game right now.
It seems a lot on the shoulders of Ramses at the moment. They're only 1,000 net worth ahead. I think it was one bad fight for Vici, but sometimes you see it all kind of fall apart from there. At least for now for Vici, it doesn't look like it's that far gone. Interested to see this Queen of Pain now with the Orchid, too. So they have the Doom. They have multiple ways to try and get a silence onto this puck where it may not be necessary that they have to use the Doom, or can actually find the Doom if they're able to silence them up enough and follow it up.
Sneaky little play into the Roshan pit using this Chen recall, but they know they're pinging it. Paparazzi, did he hear or see some animation? Because he's pinging it. VP are about to get demolished.
Oh boy, Roche was low, but the Soulbind comes out. They've got the silence on to two of these heroes. They're looking for the kill onto the Chen. They'll find themselves at least one. Now they look over it. Ramses, that's going to be a second. The Snowball's the only thing keeping alive Roger, and they'll get themselves a third. This is a huge pickoff and fight for Vici. Is now, he did most of the work for us, Virtus.pro. We'll take it from here.
I'm wondering if they saw the smoke. They have a really nice deep observer ward mid. That to me, like, there's two ways I think Quap figures that out. One, you see them smoke and you're like, okay, they're smoking into Roshan, and you know, maybe Queen of Pain was smoked or something and had her smoke pop, and you just assume that they're going to recall the troll. And the second one is, you know, there's a lot of these animations that you can see over the Roshan pit, even when they're in fog. So maybe something like that happened, but I believe it's probably like the ward vision or something like that.
He's in a little bit of trouble, as is Roger. Another easy kill here for Vici. This is going to be the tier 2 on top of it. And they might even push this towards the high ground.
Yeah, I mean, they can not push incredibly fast, so maybe they're going to think better of it. And yeah, they see no one bottom. Not an easy kill to get without the Doom, though.
Hit with the Infernal Blade, but they've got the Orchid, and no one stays a little bit too long and ends up dying. I'm not too sure he should have died there. He got hit with the Infernal Blade, used the Yules, and it looked like he should have been able to get out, but once the Orchid's placed on top of him, that's it.
Yeah, using the Yules offensively meant that, yeah, he didn't have it to get rid of the Quap Silence, so he rushes this Yules to deal with the Quap Orchid, but kind of gets punished there, so, well, not quite what they were maybe hoping for.
And then Roger again, but Ramsey's coming over. DDC's got to be a little bit careful. They'll at least get the kill here on Roger. Now Ward's got to run away from Ramses. He'll put down the Nether Ward as well as the Force Staff into the TP. And oh, just gets rooted. And then he's going to fall to Ramses, so...
So, yeah, re-watching what happened in the Roshan pit, the Vici Gaming themselves had actually smoked up. So Quap had her smoke pop at the Roshan pit, which is why they knew they were in Roshan, which worked out so well for them.
Solo spotted again. Hit with the Infernal Blade, surviving for now. The Warcry comes out. That's going to keep him alive. They've also got the Dream Coil on the Doom as well as the Queen of Pain. And Paparazzi snaps the Dream Coil. Yang in a little bit of trouble. The pushback from the Sonic Wave's not going to be able to do enough. They've already lost Yang. Now they're looking to get themselves a kill on a DY. Paparazzi will get out with the Blink. Rooted up is DY, and that's ends up being 3 here for Virtus.pro. Back and forth we go, with a little bit of a lead now for Vici, but only slightly.
And when VP get these good initiations and are fighting together, their sustain is pretty crazy. Between like the Warcry, the Vlad's on the Sven, the Chen with the Hand of God to heal everyone. That's a big boost in sustain and heal and just general survivability for the entire team. So Vici Gaming, you know, they need to really isolate, lock down, and burst one target first. They need to get that double Doom off. It's another fight, you know. If Doom doesn't get his ultimate off, you lose the fight. That's generally how Doom games pan out. It's a hero that often just feels pressure to go BKB because that's one of like the easiest ways to guarantee you can get your ultimate out. But in these fights earlier on, it can be very tricky.
About 21 minutes in, Paparazzi, he's been looking really effective at 4-1 and 8, as well as having that Aegis and having that good fight by the Roche Pit. Is it a little bit surprising to see a position 1 Quap be this effective, or are we looking towards possibly Paparazzi falling off a little bit hard in the next couple of, you know, maybe like 10, 15 minutes?
I think there is going to be a point where, yeah, the Quap doesn't feel like a true carry. But there are items I think Quaps can go that extend like your carry window. We'll see Quap actually go hunting for Puck, but won't find it. Oh, gets the Orchid out.
And now they've got the toss, but the Yules comes through, and then Ramses will show up to the fight. We'll see what he's able to do. Roger here as well, solo nearby. The blink forward from Paparazzi is ambitious for sure. He's still got that Aegis, and the Soulbind comes out on a solo as well as Ramses, and now they've got the Doom on top of it. Roger's up on the cliff, but they'll get the first life of Paparazzi to start. Now they look over at Roger. The Walrus Punch is going to come out on the DY. They get themselves at least Roger for now, as the second life is going to be used here by Paparazzi and continuing to move on forward as they get the kill on a solo. The Doom still out on a Ramsey, who has to try and run away with the Avalanche coming through from DY. 3 kills here for for Vici, and well, they use Doom and they use the Aegis.
Yeah, I mean that's why that Roshan catch is so important, because Paparazzi having an Aegis there allows him to just play like a madman. He blinks into 4 heroes. And it's the perfect, correct play, because he soaks up so much attention and so many spells. And Quap is one of those heroes that is incredibly valuable to have an Aegis on. Like, having a second life on Quap, you've got such good chase. You've always got that blink, theoretically, to escape afterwards. So, just really good aggressive play from Paparazzi. Winning him then that fight. Doom, once again, he gets the double Doom off. Fight is so much easier. It's not even about getting the right targets. It's just about getting it off on somebody. He gets a BKB Troll with a Chen. You know, you take the Chen out, no Hand of God. Troll can't really run into fight. And suddenly, it's just so much easier to take a team fight.
Snowball, DY. Shards will block them in. They've also got Pot. Well, they've got everybody here. The stun will come in. DY trying to run. And yeah, that's another kill here for Ramses.
Yep. It's kind of... Oh, Quap mid has a BKB and is going to have to pop it, it looks like.
Still on the run, but they won't give chase across the river.
Yeah. Fresh BKB, 10 seconds being used there. Not really ideal for Paparazzi, but end of the day, you've got to play very defensively when Doom is on cooldown. That's kind of the story of this game. Doom gets used for a double Doom in a fight. Vici Gaming can win. When Doom's on cooldown, they're way weaker.
Near the tier 2 tower. Just an easy kill there, and DDC, Walrus Punch, Illusory Orb, that's a lot of damage coming in immediately, and they're able to get the kill. They'll look for the tier 2 tower. Decrepify onto Ramses. The Yules comes out, though, onto Ori. He's in a little bit of trouble. He's also silenced up with the stun coming out from Pasha. God's Strength will get used, and Ori's going to be cleaned up immediately. The BKB is going to be popped by Ramses as he looks to go into Paparazzi, who's going to be tossed over towards no one. And with the BKB pop, DY trying to run away. He's going to be rooted a second time here, and then the silence comes out, but it's not going to matter. They'll get the kill onto DY. They look over at Yang. The silence is through onto the Doom, who's got the Inkswell on top of him. VP, they get a couple of kills here. Will finally work on the tier 2 tower. Now they've got 5 heroes in with the smoke being used immediately, with Ramses going up towards the high ground.
They're just so strong when Doom is on cooldown. It comes back up now, but
Doom comes out on a Ramses with the Dream Coil. No one. Yules. They've got the silence through on a Pasha, but again, it's just not coming together for the side of Vici just yet. The war cry is in, and it almost looks like Virtus.pro are looking for Vici to come out and be in a spot where they can get the kill and ultimately finish the game. They get the kill onto Yang. They're looking for Paparazzi, who's forced to use that BKB defensively once again. Throws the dagger at Roger, but it's not really going to mean much of anything.
They're just so good at punishing. Oh. Whoopsie daisy. That Nether Ward. No one did not expect the damage from that. Pasha's going to TPI. It's time for VP to regroup. They're still only up 1k gold, but they punish the fact that Doom is on cooldown, and then they follow it up with some really nice play of punishing Quap having to use BKB. They know that Quap's BKB is down, and Quap actually going to go find Tusk here. Should be a kill with the Orchid.
Roger on the run, looking to get a little help here from the Ancients to get the kill instead of this Queen of Pain, but Paparazzi claims it. This BKB's being used both times defensively. Then 10 and 9 seconds being used, and now only at 8. It's one of the things you hate to see, especially if you're going to go on such an early BKB, is seeing those charges used just to get away.
Yeah. I mean, the first one is one of those particularly, like, feels bad ones where it's just like, you get ganked and you have to BKB just to escape. The second one was kind of in a team fight. Still not good because, like you say, it's defensive. But it did ultimately lead to Vici Gaming getting a few kills, getting some bounty runes, so it wasn't the worst outcome.
DUI spotted here. They've got the toss as well as the silence. It's going to come through onto the troll. The stun thrown by Pasha. The BKB being caught by Ramses. The Inksoul is going to be placed on top of DUI with the Illusory Orb coming over and the Dream Coil locking down DDC. Ramses looking for something. He gets the root on a Paparazzi. He's forced to use that BKB again. DDC is going to end up falling. The Snowball's not going to catch up to Roger, and with all that used, it's only 1 kill so far between the two teams. But Pasha comes over. The Yule's on a DY. There's the Stormhammer to follow it up, and they'll get themselves at least a second. Moving over, Paparazzi gets the silence through on to no one, but it's just to find him some time and a blink away.
Another caught BKB, not really amounting to a whole lot. And Troll having a DD, very helpful for that fight. Absolutely destroying it. Did more than half of his team's total damage on the Troll Warlord. And unfortunately for VP, there's no Roshan to fall back to grab. It's going to be a slightly longer Rosh respawn. So they're going to have to wait around for it to come back.
Ooh, they find Yang and Pasha over here with the shards as well as the Snowball. 2 more heroes to follow it up, and an easy kill again. Yang, well, I mean, throughout the entire game has just been bullied. He is 0-8-9.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. And that to me, it just sums up so many Doom games I see where it's like the hero can be incredibly hit or miss, where you get your ultimates off, you get all these items, so you're super tanky, get a fast BKB, Shadow Blade to help get Doom off, you have a great game. Or you have games like this where you just keep dying. And until he gets his BKB, he just doesn't have a good way to go in and reliably get his ultimate off in team fights.
It seems like he's definitely one of the first targets here for Virtus.pro, and when they're able to get the pickoffs is when they find themselves being an aggressive. They've got the Dream Coil. That's going to come out on both DDC as well as the Tiny DY. They'll get the kill on both of them, and now they're going to invade the base. They'll go after the Tier 3 tower. Ramses, I mean, he just shreds through these towers. They've got God Strength. The Dagon comes out into Ramses, but again, it's already just so much damage done to the base with the Tier 3 going down.
I mean, the vision there, it's one of those things that Solo is so good at with his team and as a player. His ward game is won VP so many games. I mean, Sansheng wrote an entire guide about how to beat VP with warding. He wrote a warding guide just to try and deal with this team. That's how good Solo is when it comes to the vision game, and that ward sets the puck up. 2-man Dream Coil, Waning Rift initiation, and the fight's just instantly won. They get a Tier 3 tower, they take a shrine because of it, and VP are just outplaying Vici Gaming here. This is not an outdraft. This is just a straight-up outplay right now.
Yeah, because the game looked even for quite some time, and it was even for a while. DY comes over to find Roger, but again, it's one of those pickoffs where you're like, as long as it's not President Ramses, you're happy, you're fine.
Yeah, if they can turn it into like a Roshan, it would be a bit different, but their lineup does not kill Roshan very well at all. So they may take a Tier 2 mid tower here, which is, you know, a nice little bonus for the kill, but ultimately not quite what you were hoping to get when you smoke up there.
With that, the creeps will push in on bottom, and then no one is just going to move on over to the top lane. Puts pressure over there as well, and then the Illusory Orb coming in with the Waning Rift cleans up the creep wave very quickly, and then will be pulled back by the Chen.
Yep, nice, just annoying plays coming out. I do like that the Pugna has kind of leveled up this Dagon to level 3. This is one of the ways they can deal with the Troll a bit. If he goes to push, we're seeing every time, Ori's just going to decrypt Dagon him, and yeah, Troll has this BKB, but you don't really want to BKB for harass, because it's basically used to harass. Get the Troll down to like 2/3 HP, just chip away at him with a decrypt, Dagon, Nether Blast, and that's almost half his health gone there. So it's going to force Ramses to kind of be very careful about how he uses BKB, and that's why he's itemized for this Satanic. He needs some way to sustain his health pool and not just rely on BKB to fight into the Pugna.
Oh, another double damage for Ramses.
Yeah, and this is with Roshan alive, so they may try find a way to take a quick fight and get into the pit. If they can get in that pit undetected. I mean, he's got plus 400 damage with this Chen Divine Favor. That's absurd.
Even if you know that they're going into Roche, which they now know with DDC, I mean, how do you even step into the pit confidently? They're going to try here with the Inkswell. They've got the BKB Popeye Ramses, who's going to be stunned up for just a moment. They'll get themselves the Aegis, and then on the side, the silence is out onto the Sven. Meanwhile, they'll look over at Yang for a moment. DY is going to be the target for now, as the silence comes out onto 3 heroes, and Pasha just going in, getting the kill onto DDC. They'll end up taking out Roger as Ori gets the kill there. DY is going to try and TP out, and will be successful. So, you know, it really did look like it was going to go horribly wrong for Vici. They hold Doom. They have Soulbind when the Grimstroke's up. It's not awful.
Yeah, the one nice thing about the fact that they were there, they couldn't stop Roche going down, but they could force Ramses to BKB to kill Roshan. So once his BKB's been used to get Roshan rather than fight, Ramses was a little bit hesitant to, you know, run in for a team fight. Like, yeah, he's got all these items. He's 21, 22k net worth, but if you fight without BKB, whether you have Aegis or not, it can be a little bit risky.
We've got a team that can doom ya and really make you pay if you're going to come in without a BKB, so...
Once again, though, Yang couldn't really find a good Doom target. I think he was waiting for the Grimstroke to ultimate, but Grimstroke DDC got focused down. And now VP looking to threaten the high ground at bottom.
And they've got this Aegis on Ramses, and then the cheese is on no one.
This is where the Pugna needs to come in and just harass down Ramses' health pool. You need to be able to try and kill the Aegis without committing too much. So yeah, Nether Blast, Deep Prep, Dagon. Just trying to force him to, you know, use his BKB or to back off. And the issue is going to be this Satanic. He could just fall back, Satanic some neutrals, and he's going to be back to almost full health. Or probably will be back to about full health.
Yeah. What I really like here is...
He's just using the lifesteal with the Divine Favor.
He's able to be back to full health. They'll siege again. It's just that easy.
Yep.
And they keep focusing him, too, with no one continuing to put the Lincolns on top of Ramses. So they really want to keep him safe. He's going to be the one that's on the high ground. I think the only one that's on the high ground. So if they're able to keep the Lincolns on him, keep him healthy, what do you really do?
Yeah. You lose Rax probably is what we're going to see here.
As well as the silence on the 3. They've got the Inkswell, but Ramses continue to move on forward. The BKB is going to be pulled out of Yang, and now Ramses, he's got that second life, so he doesn't have to be too scared at the moment. The blink comes out north from Paparazzi, as I believe they're looking at least focus down one. They'll get the kill on Roger. Pasha comes in with a 2-man stun as well as the BKB and the God Strength. The Doom is only put onto him, and now the Soulbind will come through onto the Doom as well as the Puck. Fuels gets used. Ramses hitting away at DY. He'll get the continuous route and get the kill. And now they look over at Yang, who no longer has that BKB. Look at themselves a second. He's going to buy back immediately. And Ramses goes over to the tier 3 over mid. They didn't take Aegis. They really didn't take much of anything. And honestly, now Pasha going in with the stun. Not coming through. The BKB is going to be popped once again by Paparazzi. They look over at Ramsey with the Nullifier on top of him and the life drain coming out from Ori. But he's just too survivable.
Their base is just dead at this point, I feel. Like, there's no firepower left for Vici game. Well, maybe Pugna's going to beg to differ.
And they get Roger, and then they're going to look over here for the Puck. It's a 12,000 net worth. The stun coming out from Pasha to get the Puck away. The Nullifier through. Yang moving once again as the stun finally wears out, but where is he going to go? The Dream Coil comes through, and a Paparazzi who's going to be silenced up one more time. So much damage coming out from Ramses, and you can't blink out. You can't get out of that one, and Paparazzi's going to be dead for 82 seconds. He has buyback, but what do you do at this point?
They just struggle to find these kills. Like, this Lincoln's pickup on Puck has been so effective against this quad build. Having the Orchid plus Nullifier, it's one of those really dangerous combos that can kill a Puck, but Lincoln's is just keeping him alive.
Silence BKB. And now they're trying to get out as Solo on the run. No one was nearby. They'll get the kill on the Solo with the dagging coming through from Ori. But this is only a consolation prize for what Virtus.pro got overall.
Yeah, Troll being able to just BKB TP himself back home. And that should more or less set VP up to take the first game of the day. There's just so little Vici Gaming can do. Their lineup does not scale late game. They're running a one-position Queen of Pain. And you can ask, like, you know, is Quap going to pull up? I think if you're playing on even footing, the Quap late game with this Nullifier Orchid into AC build is pretty damn scary. You get your level 25 and you've got this extra lockdown from your Scream of Pain Fear. you're quite a force to be reckoned with, but when you're playing from behind, it does not feel good to have a pop. You don't really feel like you can get back into the game. It's not like a Spectre or some kind of super carry that's going to suddenly have one really good fight and be this ultra late game monster.
Do you think the fear is going to change anything if we're able to see Paparazzi go to level 25? Like, it's another aspect inside this team fight that I think might cause Virtus.pro some trouble, but I don't even know if it's going to be enough.
It's like, it's useful, definitely, because, you know, it's a way to kind of disable the puck that doesn't get blocked by Lincolns, for example. I mean, the way to think of the fear is, yeah, essentially it's a 1.5 second disable where they're just running backwards, but they can't use their spells or items. It can help against the troll, it can help defend your base, but it's not enough, is how I see it.
Roger comes over, but that's going to be in the hands of Yang, who's got the Inferno Blade with the Soulbind coming out. But look at the damage coming through from Ramses. They'll finally get the kill on Roger. They look over at Ramses, who's going to be back up to full as Paparazzi on the run just blinks away, but no one on his tail. The TP attempt, and oh no, the Yules comes through, and there's the kill Paparazzi did for 2 minutes. Now they're going to look over at DDC, who's got himself the Glimmer Kit, but the toss coming through into Pasha. They should be able to at least get the kill onto this Sven, as Pasha will in fact fall, but no one going in. As he's got himself this Hex. The Hex is going to come through onto Ori, who's then rooted up by Ramses to get the kill, and GG's going to be called here by Vici as Virtus.pro take this game. It's only a best of one, so not a series, but they do take the BL1.
I mean, a fun game. Vici Gaming were very competitive since early to mid game, and that's kind of what their line was meant to do. You're running a one-position Queen of Pain, a Pugna. They did a very good job moving from tower to tower, put a lot of pressure on VP. What they didn't do is just, at any point, really slow down Ramses. He ends this game with 2 deaths, which is, you know, at least a couple times they managed to find him, but it felt like, for the most part, anytime they rotated to his lane, they were only killing Roger on his Tusk or something. He ends the game with 12 deaths. Sven has 8 deaths, Chen with 5, but the 2 key players on VP, Noan and Ramses, only 2 deaths apiece.
Yeah, I mean, it was early on the Save the President strat that Virtus.pro were. I'm just gonna steal that analogy. Oh God, example. Jeez, I'm blowing it on words that you used earlier with the Save the President. But
oh, you're good. You're good.
I mean, like you said, every time, every pickoff was not Ramses, except for the one in the Radiant Jungle, but that was about it. And, I mean, look at how far he is in terms of net worth. He was always at the top. That Battle Fury came in pretty quickly, and it was Virtus.pro making space for him. And then even Pasha, who started the game, 0-6, and then from there goes on a 10-2 run, he really turned on.
Yeah, that kind of feels like the offlane. Like we've gone back a few years, not in a bad way, like going back it's just a different meta where these offlaners are much more sacrificial now. Even Yang, you know, he goes 0-10. I mean, he did have a pretty rough game just because he couldn't find good Doom targets, but that's just kind of the nature of the hero when you're struggling a bit. So offlaners are back to having these 0-5 starts and having to play catch up. And Pasha has a great game despite his slow start. Yang, you know, gets this Devour plus Midas goal, but never really able to turn his items into this big teamfight impact. And I think that's more speaking to Vici Gaming as a team, just not quite making the right moves. Their one good moment was that Roshan catch where they caught VP in the Roshan pit. And even that, there was an element of luck to it. They just happened to smoke and run into VP who were trying to sneak a Roshan. They had no idea VP were Roshing, except because they smoked and it got popped. Like, that was kind of just random luck that went Vici Gaming's way, and it still wasn't enough to win them the game.
Yeah, it's Virtus.pro really coming out with the lead that they had and keeping it on top, and Vici, I don't think it was I talked about it earlier about the lack of chemistry with DDC coming in. I don't think it was really much of that. It just seemed like Virtus.pro kind of just outplayed them, and now we come into the next best of one, which is going to be RNG against Newbie, which is RNG having a stand-in of Lanham for their 5 position, which used to be September. And then Newbie are coming in with Allwyn playing in the off lane instead of JT, who played for them for like a month. So
it's a bit of a stand-ins galore for some of the Chinese teams.
Yeah, for sure.
Which teams actually have their full roster? It's
Virtus.pro,
LGD's not even playing anymore, so
and
it's
Liquid.
what, IG, I guess.
IG, Virtus.pro, and Liquid are the 3 teams that have their full roster.
Yeah, so 5 out of the 8 teams are playing with a stand-in of some sort.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. I really like Alwyn. I think he's the star of, or was the star of newbie Mr. Game Boy. So
Yeah, I guess Lanham is officially on RNG's roster now, so it's not really a stand-in, so to speak.
yeah, they drop Sep and then they're gonna go with Adam, which is interesting. I mean, I was kind of expecting these shifts from the Chinese region. No surprise, honestly. And now we're gonna see how it ends up working out for them. So we'll see how it goes. It'll be a best one coming up next. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay right there.